If you're a homeowner in Iowa, you would have gotten a letter at the beginning of April updating your assessed value. Now, a lot of people don't know exactly what that means, so that's what I'm here for. I'm going to talk about what assessed value is, how to calculate property taxes, and how to protest them if you think that might be something you need to do. So, what is assessed value? Assessed value is an amount that the county determines in order to determine your taxes. So, it's involved in the formula of determining your property taxes. Now, market value, on the other hand, is an ever-changing figure. So it is the price at which you can sell your home today, like in today's current market. So that changes up and down all the time. Now, the two figures are similar because the county is required to have their assessed value be 95 to 100% of the market value. The problem is that the assessed value is only updated every 2 years. So it was updated in 2021 and now again in 2023. So they determine its value in 2023 and it won't change for 2 more years until 2025. Now, a market value, on the other hand, goes up and down in the middle of those 2 years. So those two figures are similar, but in all reality, the assessed value is always going to be behind the market value. So that's what assessed value is. And this year, on average, assessed values went up about 22%. But that does not mean that your taxes are going to go up 22%. So let's talk about that. Tax calculation. So we first start with that assessed value, but there are a couple more things we have to do before we do any multiplication. So the rollback is something that the state put into place years ago in the 80s that prevents property taxes from being impacted directly by severe inflation. So the last couple of years we've had severe inflation, obviously, and to protect our property taxes from feeling that same inflation rate, they have been kind enough to do some equalizations and some discounts, if you will. And basically they're saying that your property taxes for the state, at least, won't go up more than 3%. So now that is misleading sometimes because people think, oh, my property taxes won't go up more than 3%. But that is the state as a whole. So the taxes for the state as a whole won't increase by more than 3%. Individually, however, a property over here could go up more than 3%. A property over here could increase by less than 3%. So on average, your property taxes shouldn't increase by more than 3%, but it's not a straight up max. The max is held at the state level as a whole. So the state's property taxes cannot increase more than 3% max. But it's here and there all over the place. So we got our assessed value, then they throw in that rollback figure, and then we also have to consider any credits or discounts, as I like to call them. So that would be a homestead tax credit or a military tax credit as well. Those are the two most common. The military, obviously you have to have military service to get that one, but the homestead tax credit means that if you are the primary resident of your home, then you get a discount on your taxes. So rental homes, any other property that you own that you don't live in, you don't get that tax credit. So we've got our assessed value, we consider the rollback, we subtract any credits that you're getting, and that leaves us with a taxable value. So that taxable value is then multiplied by a levy rate, which is determined by the local government, and it's based on their budget, and it's changed annually. So the assessed value is changed every 2 years. The taxable value is assessed every year. So is the levy rate. But then you take that taxable value times the levy rate equals your annual property taxes. So that's how those calculations work. And those property taxes, that annual amount, shouldn't increase by more than 3%. And finally, protesting. So if you think that your assessed value is not accurate, then you might want to consider protesting, but you have to do your research. It is so important to do your research. So there are 2 steps in the research that I would recommend. First, check the county assessor site for the details of your property. Make sure that your property matches those details currently, because if your property has more square footage or more buildings or more bedrooms or more bathrooms than what the assessor shows that you have, you're not going to want to protest because your home likely has more value than what they think it does. So check that first. If everything matches up and you still think that the assessed value is way too high, like your home would not sell for that amount in present day market, then you need to do your research to find comps. And by comps, I mean comparables. You need to find comparable homes to yours that have similar number of bedrooms, similar number of bathrooms, similar home type, so 2-story to 2-story, ranch to ranch, split level to split level. It's got to be equal there, because otherwise you're comparing apples and oranges. But once you find comps and you are confident that your home is less valuable than the county thinks it is, then you can protest. But be careful what you wish for. So make sure you are absolutely sure that your property is worth less than it really is and that you have the data to prove it. Otherwise, your taxes could go up if they don't agree with you. So if you need to protest, if you're confident in that, then you have until the 25th, April 25th, which I think is this Tuesday. Sorry for the short notice, to submit an informal review. If you have all your ducks in a row and you want to file a formal protest, you have until April 30th, which happens to be a Sunday, so it's actually until May 1st, the first business day of the week, that you have to submit your formal protest. There is information on your county's website on how to submit a petition or protest for your assessed value, but remember, be careful what you wish for. So if you have any questions about today's content, hopefully the info on the assessed value, tax calculation, and the protest was helpful, and you can comment below, or my contact info is on this page as well. So thanks for watching, you guys.